Hello! There's a reason there was a Variety article about DC. There was a reason that Variety put out there about the discourse and the toxicity that's gone on allegedly on the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom set. Because Variety has always been the echo chamber of WB, and it continues to be the echo chamber of Warner Brothers Discovery. The marketing has started, everyone. The spin, the desperate spin to get you to give them your money in December when Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is released has started. The reason they're telling you that Jason Momoa allegedly dressed up as Johnny Depp and put his bling on at the same time and mocked Amber Heard and demanded that she was fired and blocked her from Instagram, and that James Wan wasn't very receptive to her on set. They want you to know that Warner Brothers does not stand by Amber Heard. This is them finally, at last, throwing Amber under the bus. Because when it comes to money and success and box office, these people will do whatever it takes to succeed, even throwing their own under the bus. I'm not defending Amber. It's about time too. So basically, you're being told all of this not to expose Jason Momoa, not to expose James Wan, not to expose WB, but so you know, hey, where with you peeps, we don't like Amber Heard either. That's the reason that Variety told you that Elon Musk allegedly threatened WB if they fired Amber Heard. Because Hamada was right from the very beginning. When the first Aquaman finished and he wanted to remove her for lack of chemistry, Momoa and Heard did have a lack of chemistry. Because Heard isn't a very good actor. And the only reason you got anything good from that movie is because James Wan is a damn fine director. So all that was true. So they want you to know we had no choice but to keep Amber Heard, because the studio removed Depp from the Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts movies because of what was going on. They wanted to treat Amber the same way because both of them as a couple were a problem to the studio and anyone who was involved with them at the time, and they just wanted them gone. They didn't choose to, bin Johnny Depp and keep Amber. Elon Musk's involvement was the reason that Amber Heard kept her job. That's the point. And they want you to know that they had no choice but to keep her. So that's what's going on there. So they want you to know, hey, we don't like her either. Come and see our movie. So it's a very, very clever tactic, because what was revealed yesterday from the set of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom doesn't hurt the movie. It tells you they want you to at least think that James Wan doesn't like Amber Heard and there were problems on the set, that he didn't support her. He never cast her. She was forced upon him because Johnny Depp got her the gig. Ultimately, Zack Snyder cast her. Or was it the studio who forced Amber on Zack Snyder? From what I know is Zack cast her, and she certainly ran back for the Snyder Cut extended footage as well, which, to be fair, was very, very good of her to come back and help Zack, because basically I don't think she got that much money for doing it. So well done, at the very least, for doing that. But they want you to know where they stand. They stand with you against Amber Heard, and they want you to know they didn't have a choice but to keep her, so you don't boycott this movie because of her minuscule involvement. And that's what that article was all about. But the Variety article wanted you to know something else, that James Gunn is recasting the entire Justice League. Now, we knew that Henry Cavill wasn't coming back. James told us. Ben told us ages ago, in fact, years ago, at least 2 years ago, that he wasn't playing Batman and Bruce Wayne in DC anymore. And he made it clear in a Hollywood Reporter article that he would never direct a DC Universe movie. So we've known Ben was gone for quite a while. What we didn't know about were the futures of Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller. Now, I think it was pretty obvious that Ezra wasn't coming back, considering the end of the Flash movie has him trapped in the George Clooney Batman universe. I mean, a fate that nobody would want, right? If you were a DC character. So Miller isn't coming back. And that doesn't surprise me. His movie was not his, their. Let's get it right. No, I do like to get the pronouns right. Their movie was a disaster at the box office. So Ezra, as far as we know, isn't coming back, according to Variety. Do I believe Variety? Yes, I do. But they also mentioned that Gal Gadot wouldn't be coming back as Wonder Woman, aka Diana Prince. Now, this is a very interesting one, boys and girls, because James Gunn, when he's asked by fans, said she will be back. She said she spoke to Safran and Gunn, and they assured her that she'd be back. Maybe don't listen to studio producers' assurances, because that's never a good thing and they're never trustworthy. I don't know what's going on. Something weird has been going on with Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot and her future since James Gunn has taken over. We know we're getting this kind of, Wonder Woman, prequel Amazonian TV show on Max. So that seems interesting, but it's not directly a Wonder Woman show. Wonder Woman's not going to be in it unless it's going to be about a young Diana Prince, and I don't even think it is. I think James has explained, it's a pre-Diana Prince story. So it's interesting that Variety are telling us that she's not coming back. Now, I said at the time when they weren't announcing a Wonder Woman movie, and they were very vague about whether or not Gal would come back. There's been so many different rumours. I never thought she would ever come back. I don't think she should come back as Wonder Woman. It's done. The Snyderverse has been over for a very long time, and the Snyder Cut was the greatest rap party that a fandom could ever have. But of course, fans always want more and more. It's over. I support people hashtagging restore the Snyderverse, sell Snyderverse to Netflix. I'm fine to hashtag that as well. But ultimately, it's done. And James Gunn is the future. He is writing and directing a Superman movie. He is creating a brand new universe. It is a full reboot with some of the same actors, starting again as the same characters. That's what's happening. It's pretty much a full reboot. So, I'm not surprised we're going with a new Justice League. We pretty much knew most of them were being recast. It seems like they're all being recast. But as I say, Variety isn't the word of God. Listen, the DCEU was a mess from the very beginning. As I said on my live yesterday, you can love Man of Steel, you can love BVS, you can love the Snyder Cut, you can love the first Aquaman movie, as I do. I even love Black Adam. But at the end of the day, in terms of a cinematic universe, it never worked. The problem with auteurs like Zack Snyder, and it's not normally necessarily a bad thing, is they're self-obsessed with what they want. So you can't have that when you're making movies for the mainstream audience. And that's the problem. An auteur wants to do what they want to do. They want their creative freedom. Now, that's great if you're working for a small studio on, a non-pre-existing IP. But when you're working with somebody else's pre-existing IP and they've injected so much money in what you're doing, you can't be self-indulgent. And that's the problem with auteurs. They're self-indulgent. And this is why Zack Snyder got himself in a lot of trouble. It never worked. It was never going to work, but they are great movies as far as I'm concerned. So we move on. I'm not surprised. I am very excited to see who else James Gunn casts in these roles. Because I think it's exciting to know who the new Wonder Woman will be, who the new Flash will be, who the new Aquaman will be, who the new Cyborg will be. But maybe those characters will be given a rest for now. Who knows? Look, I think they will. Either Gal comes back, because as I say, Variety and not the face of God. So, you know, they're not the voice of God. We don't know if they actually know everything. But for me, Gal Gadot was never coming back, and that's a good thing. When Gal was working under director Zack Snyder, she was an outstanding Wonder Woman. She was in BVS, she was in her own Wonder Woman movie. She was great in the Snyder Cut, and that's where it ended for Gal Gadot. Her cameos in the DCEU this year have been absolutely terrible, cringeworthy, and embarrassing. It's time to replace her as Wonder Woman. It's time to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash. It's, you know, let's get some comic book accurate castings here and move on. And if you want to enjoy the Snyderverse, you can put your disc in your machine or go on your Amazons or your Apples or whatever and watch them and enjoy them, you know, until your heart's content. That's what's good about movies. They exist forever. But we are moving on, and I think that's quite right too. I think that's the right decision, everyone. I'd love to know what you think. What do you think about the revelations of Aquaman 2 and the set being so toxic? I think it's hilarious that Jason Momoa was dressing up as Johnny Depp and mocking Amber. They want you to know that they do not support her, and they want you to support this movie. Will you support Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? I will, because I know it's an epic and awesome movie. I will see you again next time.